Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something pretty significant from Spotify, an announcement they made back on April 15th, 2025.
That's right. It's all about changes to how developers can get extended access to their web API.
Maybe we should quickly explain what that web API actually does.
Good idea. So basically, the Spotify web API lets developers create apps and tools that hook into Spotify. Think, specialized playlist generators or maybe tools for artists to see their stats.
Stuff that enhances your Spotify experience, and it ties into Spotify's whole ubiquity strategy, right? Being available everywhere.
Exactly. On your phone, your speaker, your computer, everywhere. Now, the core change here, the big news, is they're making it tougher to get extended quota mode access.
Starting May 15th, 2025. But importantly, the basic development mode, that's not changing.
Right. So if you're just tinkering or building something for yourself, you're probably fine.
Okay. So our mission today is to kind of unpack why Spotify is doing this, what the new rules actually are, and what it might mean for the whole Spotify ecosystem, for the apps you might use.
Yeah, we'll try to hit the main points without getting lost in the weeds.
So the big question first, why make this change now?
Well, Spotify's official line is about alignment. They say they need their developer platform to better support their growth, and specifically listeners, creators, and artists.
Meaning they want to focus resources.
Pretty much. Focus on integrations that are, in their words, impactful and scalable. Make sure the API is being used in ways that help them and their users.
And they found something interesting when they looked at applications, didn't they?
Yeah, this is revealing. They discovered that a lot of the requests for this extended access just didn't really line up with user interests or Spotify's own business needs.
So maybe apps doing things Spotify wasn't keen on, or perhaps things they want to offer themselves eventually.
That's possible speculation, yeah.
Yeah.
But the really stark finding, the statistic that jumps out,
The 95% one?
that's the one. Over 95% of applications for this extended access failed to meet even basic standards. We're talking security, privacy, and, crucially, music licensing.
Wow. Okay, 95%. That's huge. It kind of explains why they felt a need for a change, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It suggests the previous system was maybe too open or at least not filtering effectively for quality and compliance. So that seems to be a major driver.
Right. So what are the new rules then? What do developers need to do after May 15th?
Okay, so going forward, extended access is reserved for apps that have, and I quote, established, scalable, and impactful use cases.
And those use cases need to actively drive our platform strategy forward and promote artists and creator discovery. Sounds like they want apps that directly help Spotify's core mission.
Precisely. Think things like maybe really sophisticated recommendation engines built on their data, or tools that genuinely help artists connect with fans or understand their streams better.
But what about developers who already have this access?
Good news for them, mostly. Spotify says if you currently have extended access and you're playing by the rules, following the terms, you won't be affected by this change.
That's a relief for some, I bet. And what if you're applying right now before the deadline?
You've got until May 15th, 2025 to apply under the existing rules using the current system.
Okay, but after that date?
After May 15th, any new proposals have to meet these new, stricter criteria. And they'll also need to adhere to updated developer terms, which also kick in May 15th. The whole application process moves, too, over to the main web API page on their developer site.
Got it. Now, Spotify has tried to frame the impact, haven't they? How many developers do they think this actually affects?
They have. They stated that only a small portion of developers, specifically less than 1%, should be impacted.
Less than 1%. How do they figure that?
Their reasoning is that the vast majority of projects using the API never actually needed the extended quota in the first place. The standard development mode was sufficient.
So they're suggesting this is more about managing the high-volume users of the API, not shutting down casual development.
Exactly. And their hope, they say, is that by focusing their support on these more impactful integrations, it actually improves the overall experience for the entire developer community in the long run. Quality over quantity, perhaps.
Okay. Looking forward, what's the bigger message from Spotify here?
They're framing it as part of a commitment to a platform that's secure, efficient, and aligned with their long-term strategy.
Which circles back to that ubiquity idea and supporting artists and creators.
Right. Seamless availability, better discovery for artists, and maintaining, a vibrant developer community, albeit one that's maybe more focused on integrations that fit Spotify's vision.
And they mentioned a place for feedback.
Yeah, they pointed developers towards their community forum for questions, feedback, and support during this shift.
So to sum it up, Spotify's tightening the reins on its web API extended access. It seems largely driven by, well, frankly, a lot of applications not meeting basic security and licensing standards, plus a desire to focus resources on apps that really align with Spotify's goals, especially around artist discovery and platform growth.
It's a move towards more control, better quality assurance, you could say, prioritizing integrations they see as genuinely adding value according to their strategy.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener. When big platforms like Spotify adjust the access developers have, what kind of trade-offs do you see? Between encouraging anyone to build something cool versus maintaining control and ensuring quality.
And thinking ahead, what kinds of new integrations might these stricter rules actually encourage? Maybe more polished, secure tools. Or could it perhaps discourage some of the more experimental, boundary-pushing ideas? How might it change your future Spotify experience? Something to think about.
Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. For more detail you can visit our blog website www.evergreentechtips.com.